We're asking the question, is marriage hard? Is marriage really hard? Because several stories we've been hearing or seeing on social media these days, just makes you think about this whole institution called marriage. A lot of our young ones are actually giving up on the whole concept of marriage and just living their lives because most of the people around them, their experiences in marriage are not so palatable and all of that. But recently, a brand strategist who is married, by the way, goes by the name Samuel Otigba, actually shared his thoughts about marriage on his Twitter handle. Okay, he wrote, and I quote, "Marriage isn't hard, it's the people in it that are difficult. The problem is not the institution, it's the individuals." End of quote. Now, this tweet has actually started an argument of some sort on Twitter. Some people agree with him, while others are of the opinion that the institution called marriage, in itself is the problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, is marriage actually hard? Is it difficult, the institution called marriage, or is it the people in the marriage that actually make it look that difficult? Mr. Oranta.
Marriage is hard.
It is.
It is hard. But everything else in life is hard. Nothing is easy. Nothing is easy. If it's easy, everybody will, if making ₦1 million is easy, everybody will be a millionaire. If achieving academic heights is easy, everybody will be doctors and professors. Everything in life requires effort. If it is worth it, if it is going to be worthwhile for you, you have to put in the effort, you have to make the sacrifice for it to really mean anything to you. Even getting the wife or getting the husband, sacrifices are required. So everything is difficult. It's how you approach it. When it's difficult, it doesn't mean that it's impossible. That's why people go into it, and when you go into it with a very a positive mindset, you make it work. Because for me, I believe that life, the difficulties of life generally is what makes life interesting. So, but if you want something to be so smooth, in fact, if you are in life, when everything becomes smooth for you, you have to check it again if you are not going downhill, because every upward climb must be tasking. If you are moving from, as we got into this floor, this is the first floor of this building. Now, we are mounting stairs. Each stair you mount, you are surmounting problems and difficulties until you get to this level. If you move again, it will take you to another level. So, to expect that life will be easy, even Ezekiel has been complaining, it's not easy.
Okay, all right. So you think marriage is hard, but the approach we give to it, is what's key. Pastor Dolly.
Well, when he said marriage is hard, I'm like, but somehow he has been able to explain it in a way that really makes sense. And I also don't want to believe that marriage is hard. It is the people that are involved that makes it hard. You can decide to make it hard.
Sorry, without the people, what is marriage? It's the people that make marriage. Marriage is nothing if without the people.
The institution itself, or maybe the marriage itself, was not intended to be hard. And if we're saying marriage is hard, is it hard for everybody? No, it's not hard for everybody. Because if we say that because there are differences, you have differences in marriage, if we not target hard, then I will be right to say that relationship between parents and children is hard. Because there is no relationship where you don't have the downside of it, where you don't have maybe misunderstanding, where you don't have differences. Between you and your parent, you have differences, but you have the ability to understand each other's differences. You have the ability to just accept it the way it is and make something good out of the relationship. That is why, parents will spank you for doing the wrong thing. They spank you with the left hand. They use the right hand to bring you back. And you still remain their daughter. It does not affect their love for you. But in case of marriage, if we can also approach it from that direction of, okay, these are two people from two different backgrounds, they don't necessarily have to agree on at every point in time or on every occasion, on everything. But these two people have decided we want to make our marriage work. Even before.
So it is the decision.
It is the decision
of the people in the marriage.
In the marriage that makes a difference. If they decide we are going to make it work, because if one wants it to work and the other one doesn't want it to work, how is it going to work? Both parties, the two people involved, must be ready to make it work.
Okay.
They must be ready to accept it, to see it as a place where they are learning. Okay, my partner is going this way. I'm learning to adjust to her, to the way she is. Like I always tell people, we always want our partners to change. We don't want to change. You can change to suit your partner's interest. For instance, I have a partner probably just used toilet and wouldn't flush. Instead of quarreling with this person, I've quarreled, this thing is not working. Instead of packing it up because of that, what do I do?
So I should keep flushing his
You just flush. That is the challenge. That is the challenge.
He's not going to touch. He's not to touch.
It's just about sacrifice here.
He's not to touch it.
That is the sacrifice.
Just ask him to always close it when he's done.
Because you have made up your mind to change.
What if he doesn't even close the thing? Like, Chioma,
somebody
please
you're
stop.
married to.
Talk, please forget about me, don't.
I don't know why I used to maybe somebody used to select me.
Go ahead,
Maybe there's somebody that needs
So leave it just like that.
on this table.
I totally agree with Pastor Dolly. I totally agree with her. And I disagree with Mr. Oranta's choice of definition or language or agreement to the fact that marriage is hard. Because when you say something is hard, it means the thing can't be handled, can't be dealt with, can't be penetrated, can't be softened, can't even be managed. But that's not what marriage is. The person that made that comment actually said, he added a clause, he said, it's the people that are hard. And that's the truth. Because what I've seen about marriage after 22 years of being in it is, it's what you make of it. Yes, it has its challenges, but it comes from you as an individual. You tell yourself, I want it to work. The other person tells himself, I want it to work. By the time the two of you are in agreement with the fact that you want it to work, that I want it to work statement simply means I am going to keep making sacrifices. Whatever it will take to hold it together. We both know we're not perfect before we even came together. And that is why marriage should even be started on the right footing, and for the right reasons. Some marriages that fail because people go into them for all the wrong reasons, without even understanding what it means to go into marriage. But if you go into marriage for the right reasons, those reasons will be a constant reminder of the promise you've made to each other. That's how it works. There's nothing perfect in life. Relationships with siblings aren't perfect, but we can't say they are hard. Relationship with parents is not perfect, aren't perfect, but they are not hard. Raising our kids is a great challenge, but it's not hard because we end up achieving it. So when you say something is hard, it means you're ready to give up on it.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to this conversation because I know we still have so much to say on this, but it's time for us now to hook up with the news studio for news at the top of the hour. When we come back, we'll continue with Is Marriage Hard? And then we'll read some of the messages that have come in. And also, coming up later on the program, we'll be looking at the cultural significance of using the left hand. Okay, we'll be back after this time out. Good to have you join us again on the lifestyle edition of The Buzz, live on Galaxy Television. Mr. Somi Oranta, Pastor Dolly, and Chioma Okofia are still with me in the studios. Welcome back, everybody. All right, is marriage hard? That's still the question we're asking, and we have loads of messages that have come in that regard. Let's quickly read some. Okay from Abuja says, marriage isn't hard, but people marry permissive will and not perfect will of God. If you marry your wife/hobby, of course, there are challenges, but you will pass the storm. All right, this other one says, marriage is sweet and honorable. It is not hard. It is the people that make it look hard. That man, you see, from Joss, what do you mean? Send me a message and tell me what you mean. Andy. Andy from Abuja is saying, hey, goodness, I don't even know if I should read this message. He said, patience, you will get yourself hypnotized if you don't stop visiting those shrines in the name of church. I didn't visit a shrine. I went to a church, okay? A church. And like I said, until things happen to you, you never really know. So just leave me to be going to my shrine. Thank you so much. Okay, this other one says, hey, Andy, you are here again. I will skip. Okay, this one says, please, I want to know why Kogi State is not on the COVID list on daily basis. When award night and other occasions are going on in the state without social distancing and not wearing a face mask, e.g. the National Women Council Award night held in Lokoja some weeks ago, even the #1 Oga of the state is in the hall that night. Coach Dan from Delta State. Of course, if you live in Nigeria and you've been following this whole COVID-19 pandemic thing, you know why Kogi State is not captured in the daily statistics by the NCDC. All right, this other one says marriage as an institution is not hard, but the players are the ones that makes it difficult. Young Okoi says, Auntie P, are you sure the assistant pastor didn't plan and be preparing for you? As in, he made me a prayer point. As for the marriage thing, indeed, it's true that the institution is flexible, but the players, that is individuals, are the ones difficult, just like politics. Pastor Dolly, may God bless you. Thank you. Young Okoi sent that one in. All right, this other one says, good afternoon, Mama P and all guests. Oluwagbami from Ikorodu, rephrase or restructure your message, then I can read it, all right? Only one thing make marriage sweet, and that is understanding, outside understanding. Let me read this again. Only one thing makes marriage sweet, and that is understanding. Outside understanding, marriage is hard. From Ene Tiere in PH. You see why all those comma and full stop and everything is very important. Otherwise, you just be reading what you don't know. Anyways, Joshua from PH says, anointing is very real, but the fake one, the Bible said, by their fruit we shall know them. All right, this other one says, Happy New Year, Madam P. Same to you. Trust you enjoyed your leave. I did. As regards COVID-19, you have said it all. Let's be careful, responsible, and do the needful. Dr. Kayode Abodere from Ondo State, send that one in. All right, this one says, Jesus said if we believe, we will do greater things he has done. Until you experience it, you will not believe it. A carpenter cannot, under the happening in the medical line, everything will always, understand is what you mean. Cannot understand the happenings in the medical line. Everything will always look strange to him. Reverend Charles Kasua Nani Idoko. Thank you, Reverend. Thank you for bringing your own perspective into the discussion. All right, so is marriage hard? That's where we were. I think I was on you, Chioma, so let's quickly wrap this up on that.
So I'll finish up by saying marriage is not hard. Let's just keep making the sacrifices involved. But that's not like saying there aren't marriages that you give your all to and it just refuses to work. Perhaps when people talk about marriage being hard, they're referring to those ones. But still, when you consider even those kind of marriages, I won't define the marriage as an institution as hard. It's the individuals who are not accepting for it to work. Maybe their differences are too irreconcilable. And in such situations, trust me, it's not a do or die affair. I am not the type that says that when you're in marriage and you've tried everything you can, everything humanly possible,
that's the caveat. Try everything.
I don't believe in die there, but try everything possible and ensure that you're playing your own part constantly.
All right, Pastor Dolly, quickly, let's wrap it up.
I think I just agree with what she just said. Marriage is not difficult. The people that are involved, they should learn to make adjustments. Don't be rigid. Don't just have this idea of this is the way.
This is how it should be.
This is our tradition.
This is how my mother used to do it.
Yes. You don't have to be that way. You can change. You can change. Don't always expect your partner to change. You can be the change that you need in your relationship.
Okay, Mr. Oranta, quickly.
Why I said about hard is the fact that, you know, when you bring people from different backgrounds, you know, coming together, it takes a lot of sacrifices for them to, you know, do things together without friction. Even when you put tools in a toolbox, you know, there's always friction. So it's a difficult thing, but that is why it requires sacrifice, requires understanding, requires people to, you know, compromise for it to. When something is difficult or is hard, it doesn't mean that it's impossible, like I said earlier on. So if we make effort to make it work, that's why it works.
Okay.
It's just that people of these days don't want to make sacrifices.
Okay.
We just, the way we read it, you know, plug and play. We bring it out from where I read about it or watched in a movie. We want to put it that way. But every marriage is unique to itself. It's a subjective experience,
Exactly.
like a package. When you open it, whatever you see, you take it. So it's better you prepare your mind that it's going to be difficult so that you be prepared to make all the sacrifices than thinking that, you know, falsely that, oh, it will be easy.
It's a bed of roses.
And then you go there. Even bed of roses are not
Has thorns.
underneath it. That's what gives impetus to the beautiful blooming plant on the surface. So marriage, I will repeat, is difficult, but people can make it work if they want to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Somi Oranta, for that one. Okay. This one that just came in is actually blaming religious centers for making. Anyways, let me read the message the way he sent it. It says, religious centers and their clerics are monumentally responsible for most failed marriages. Take them out and patiently manage your home, please. This other one says marriage is not a bed of roses. The couple's attitude towards each other determine how bitter or sweet the marriage is. Engineer Iwu Chuku sent that one in.